Rome did not begin with the strongest army. Its real advantage was turning defeats, rivals, and allies into lasting power. Central Italy gave Rome access to roads, rivers, farmland, and sea routes. But geography alone could not build an empire. The Republic spread command across offices, allowing Rome to raise armies repeatedly without one king controlling all. Rome rarely used one rule for every defeated city. It mixed treaties, colonies, partial rights, and full citizenship. Italian allies supplied enormous numbers of troops, giving Rome a manpower reserve few Mediterranean rivals could match. Roman armies shifted from rigid phalanx-style ranks to flexible maniples, better suited to Italy's broken hills and valleys.
Roads, fortified camps, and supply discipline let Roman armies move, regroup, and remain in the field longer than rivals.
Even after disasters, Rome could recruit new armies. Enemies often won spectacular battles but failed to end the war. Victory brought land, booty, tribute, and taxes, which financed more soldiers, roads, fleets, and future campaigns. Rome built a feedback loop. Allies supplied men, armies won territory, and new territory supplied still greater resources. Rome founded colonies at strategic points, placing loyal communities beside roads, rivers, and newly conquered territory. Each colony secured land, watched nearby rivals, and gave Roman armies bases from which future campaigns could begin. Citizenship came in layers, offering some communities rights, others duties, and many a path toward deeper integration. This unequal system was often coercive, yet it bound separate Italian communities to Roman wars, markets, and institutions. Census lists turned households into military capacity, helping officials track taxes, service, property, and available men. Annual levies trained generations of citizens and allies, making repeated mobilization a normal part of Roman public life. Discipline mattered because Roman units could camp, march, regroup, and obey commands even after confusion or heavy losses. Standardized camps gave every soldier a known place, reducing disorder and helping armies rebuild control each evening. Roads shortened movement between colonies, towns, and armies, helping Rome respond before distant crises could combine. By controlling Italy, Rome gained ships, grain, metals, horses, taxes, and soldiers for wars far beyond the peninsula. Rome borrowed useful weapons and methods from its enemies, then reshaped them to fit strict Roman discipline and command. Manipular lines could reinforce one another, giving Roman infantry depth, flexibility, and a way to recover under pressure. Centurions connected orders to action, keeping small units moving even when noise and terrain broke the wider formation.
Experience mattered because repeated campaigns produced officers and soldiers who understood roads, camps, and battle.
The Samnite Wars forced Rome to fight across difficult hills, encouraging tactics better suited to broken Italian ground. Sieges taught Rome to combine patience, engineering, blockade, and negotiation instead of relying on open battle alone.
When war reached Sicily, Rome faced a naval contest and had to build large fleets despite limited experience at sea.
Roman naval success came through rapid shipbuilding, allied crews, discipline, and costly learning across repeated campaigns. Sicily became Rome's first province, turning victory overseas into taxation, garrisons, supply routes, and administration. The struggle with Carthage transformed Rome from an Italian power into a Mediterranean state prepared for longer wars. The First Punic War exhausted both Rome and Carthage, proving that victory could demand years of money, ships, and lives. Rome answered naval disasters by rebuilding, converting private wealth, public resolve, and experience into a new fleet.
Victory at the Agates Islands ended the war, giving Rome Sicily, tribute, and lasting confidence to project power at sea.
Carthage rebuilt its power in Iberia, where silver, soldiers, and new commanders prepared the ground for another war. Hannibal crossed the Alps in 218 BCE, avoiding Rome's expected routes and bringing a diverse army directly into Italy. Rome expected to fight abroad, but Hannibal reversed the plan, forcing the Republic to defend its own allied system. Defeats at Trebia and Lake Trasimene showed Roman courage could be trapped by terrain, weather, surprise, and poor timing. At Cannae, Hannibal surrounded a larger Roman army, creating a catastrophe that should have shattered the Republic. Some Italian allies defected after Cannae, but much of Rome's alliance network survived the greatest test it had faced. Rome refused negotiation, raised new forces, and denied Hannibal his strongest advantage, another decisive field battle. Rome attacked Carthaginian power in Iberia, forcing men, money, and commanders directly away from Hannibal's army in Italy. After disaster in Spain, Rome entrusted young Scipio with command, proving crisis could accelerate unusual political choices. Scipio struck New Carthage in 209 BCE, seizing a harbor, treasury, hostages, weapons, and Carthage's vital supply base. By protecting hostages and negotiating with local leaders, Scipio weakened Carthaginian control without battle alone. At Baecula, Scipio defeated Hasdrubal but failed to stop him marching toward Italy with urgently needed reinforcements. 2 Carthaginian armies in Italy could have overwhelmed Rome, making Hasdrubal's northern advance a decisive emergency. Roman messengers exposed Hasdrubal's plan, allowing Nero to march north in secret, while Hannibal remained completely unaware. At the Metaurus in 207 BCE, combined Roman armies destroyed Hasdrubal's force before it could unite with Hannibal in time. With reinforcement gone, Hannibal was confined to southern Italy, while Rome recovered cities, roads, and initiative. Scipio cleared Carthaginian power from Iberia, then argued that Rome could end the war only by carrying it into Africa. Scipio used Sicily as a training base, rebuilding discipline and preparing an army for a dangerous crossing into Africa. Massinissa joined Rome with Numidian cavalry, giving Scipio speed, local intelligence, and a decisive mounted advantage. In 204 BCE, a Roman invasion landed near Utica, forcing Carthage to defend its homeland while war continued in Italy. Ships, fortified camps, and supply roads kept the African invasion alive when the first seam of Utica stalled for months. Victory on the Great Plains shattered Carthage's field armies and left its homeland dangerously exposed to invasion. Pressure near Carthage forced its veteran army to leave Italy, ending an invasion that had threatened Rome for years. Before Zama, the rival commanders discussed peace, but neither side accepted terms it believed could remain secure. At Zama, open lanes helped Roman infantry redirect many elephants and reduce the opening attack's destructive shock. Allied cavalry returned behind the opposing line, while disciplined Roman infantry held the final formation in place. Defeat forced Carthage to surrender most warships, pay indemnities, and seek Roman approval before waging future wars. Defeating Carthage gave Rome experienced armies, naval confidence, and influence far beyond the western Mediterranean. Rome entered war against Macedon with Greek allies, turning regional diplomacy into another expanding military front. Greek allies supplied bases, ships, troops, and intelligence, allowing Rome to coordinate local rivalries and fears. At Cynocephalae, broken hills disrupted the phalanx, while flexible Roman units adapted faster across uneven ground. Rome proclaimed freedom for Greek communities, but protection and obligations soon produced lasting political influence. When a powerful Eastern kingdom entered Greece, Roman forces crossed the Aegean and pursued the threat deep into Asia. At Magnesia, Roman and Allied forces defeated a major Eastern army without placing its entire empire under direct rule. The settlement shifted territory to Roman allies and imposed heavy payments, reshaping Asia without direct Roman rule. Governors, garrisons, and local elites turned victories into provinces supplying taxes, grain, recruits, and order. Foreign tribute and provincial revenue eased burdens in Italy, while financing larger armies and more distant wars abroad. Conquest enriched Rome unevenly, widening the divide between powerful estate owners and less secure citizens in Italy. Long campaigns kept farmers away from their land, while debt and competition made smaller holdings harder to preserve. Large estates increasingly used enslaved labor, linking overseas conquest to major changes in Italy's rural economy. In 133 BCE, a reforming tribune sought to redistribute public land and restore a stronger base of small citizens in Italy. His killing turned organized political murder into a dangerous new weapon inside the institutions of the Republic itself. A later reforming tribune expanded policy through grain, colonies, courts, and citizenship, but conflict turned violent.
In 107 BCE, poorer volunteers entered the army, yet military transformation remained gradual, uneven, and contested. Longer wars made soldiers depend more on commanders for rewards, strengthening personal bonds inside republican armies. The social war forced Rome to extend citizenship across Italy, unifying the peninsula only after devastating revolt.
In 88 BCE, a Roman commander marched his own legions on Rome, proving armies raised by the state could seize it by force. A victorious dictator restored senatorial authority by force, showing institutions now depended on successful armies. Extraordinary commands placed individual generals above normal officers, making concentrated military power acceptable. Conquest in Gaul created wealth, prestige, and veteran legions that gave one commander an independent political base.
Crossing a northern boundary river in 49 BCE turned competition for command into open civil war between Roman armies.
Victory at Pharsalus left one commander dominant, proving republican offices could no longer balance military power. Assassination removed one ruler but reopened civil war because the institutions beneath his authority were already broken. A young heir used an inherited name, veteran settlements, alliances, and ruthless politics to gain control of the West. Actium destroyed the final rival coalition, leaving one victor with unmatched armies, fleets, provinces, and resources. In 27 BCE, the victor preserved republican titles while controlling the armies and provinces behind real power in practice. Rome grew powerful through allies, adaptation, roads, taxes, and conquest. Could this system survive without expansion?